in good business, you can just take it right from there.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right.
Alrighty, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Aloha, welcome to the Solar Coaster at RE Plus Hawaii number 2 in January of 2025. I got Chuck Collins, longtime contributor and friend of the Solar Coaster, been on more times than I can count. This guy's really into a lot of neat technologies, kind of running businesses, and he's also a hydrogen aficionado, and he can tell you everything about hydrogen. So why don't you introduce yourself, Chuck, and tell us what's going on in your world.
Sure. Hi, I'm Chuck Collins. I live on Maui, and I'm currently the manager for all of sales and development for Johnson Controls. I'm also one of the founding board members for the Hawaii Hydrogen Alliance. Work for DOE and private sector, ESCOs, other bunch of stuff. And I'm currently based on Maui, where I'm today mostly going to be talking as a ratepayer on Maui and some of the things that I'm seeing from my professional experiences in life.
All right, so Maui and as a ratepayer, let's start from there, right? Because that's actually a different perspective than a lot of the times that we're talking about. I would say I'm concerned about the price of energy in a pretty radical way. I look at my overage, I have a CSS system, pretty fun little system, right? And last time I did the math, it was 42, 43 cents, but I heard someone say 48 today. Was it Josh Powell up there in the thing? So our rates are already extremely high. And then of course, looking forward, if nothing changes, if in the current, I mean, it could be really unbelievably expensive, right? We're already in an affordable housing crisis and just affordable living crisis in Maui. What do you think about energy, how it plays a role in all this conversation?
Again, as a ratepayer, you know, I've paid rates into Maui Electric for a long time. I've tried to work with them many times. The problem I think that we have now is that our rates are so high and they don't have a good economic path out of it, due to the fires and due to some of the litigation that's happening. So I'm hoping that the ratepayers won't have to bear the brunt of this, of what happened to them, and the lack of foresight for planning your company in advance of things like this so that you don't have to pass it on to the ratepayers. It'd be really unfair to all of us who've been paying these really exorbitant costs for so long, and sort of a resistance to change, even though the technologies and services and products have been there. We've just sort of been left behind and our rates just stay high, and that's just not really fair to us. We already get hit with a lot of different things economically living in Hawaii, and it's just not fair with all the abundant natural resources that we have that we should have to pay the highest rates in the country and still be this heavily dependent on fossil fuel.
Yeah, and there are solutions. You know, you can put in a solar battery system, you can drive an EV. EVs work great in Maui, of course, because it's a small, geographically small environment, and then EV technologies come a long way. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Do you think that that could help us, or does it need to be much bigger?
EV from a technology standpoint is really intriguing due to storage and distributed energy standpoints. Unfortunately, the climate conversation has got a little lost, so you have people that plug in their Teslas running off of 75% diesel, and they think they're running on renewables. So there's a mixed messaging happening right now, and the companies themselves aren't necessarily helping that because they're marketing some of it as green, clean, all that, when it really just comes down to, a gas tank in your car is really no different from the battery in your car. The gas tank is running your car, the battery is running your car. What is fueling the gas tank? What is fueling the battery? That's what's really most important. And so we've got a lot of opportunities to do a wide-scale electric vehicle deployment and charging on Maui that can help not only the consumers, but the grid itself.
I'll tell you what, Chuck, I thought about you a couple times recently because there was a conversation of the county acquiring a ferry system for Molokai and Lanai. And then, of course, we have in San Francisco the Switch hydrogen ferry built by All American Marine. And I thought, geez, if we had some hydrogen production, could those ferries run off of hydrogen? Because that'd be kind of cool, right? I know that, like the Pacific Whale Foundation runs off of biodiesel, right? So what are your thoughts about hydrogen? There's some big discussions going on Big Island right now with AJ. We just had a chat about that. Where are the opportunities in Maui for hydrogen?
Opportunities on Maui for hydrogen are really near-term diesel. Offsetting diesel has always been the near-term target for hydrogen, but we need to figure out two things: the low cost of energy, where we're going to get this, how we're going to free the hydrogen, and where we're going to get the hydrogen from. If we continue to rely on the grid and grid pricing and grid resources for creating hydrogen, it's never really going to work, and it's an extremely hypocritical path. If we can overbuild, so it's partly goes back to utility dynamics and utility rules. We build to load, right? If we could overbuild on the supply side, we would have sort of all kinds of things. We'd actually get creative on things to do with our renewable electricity, because we had so much of it, we might start mining a bunch of Bitcoin, creating a bunch of hydrogen, or sending our people around the island transportation-wise for free, because we just have so much clean energy we don't know what to do with it. It'd be a great place to be in, but unfortunately we're not there for different reasons. But again, in a perfect world, that's where I'd like to see it go.
I mean, but before we wrap this up, I'm going to take it to a little bit of a philosophical point. You know, there's this thing about this abundance mentality and scarcity mentality, and it occurs to me as you're talking about energy and the way you just did, if we were to move to this abundance mentality, because there is an abundant amount of energy, it's like it's all falling down on us, we're not able to utilize all of it, but generation got really inexpensive, and it looks like storage is getting pretty inexpensive too. So if we can get to this place where we have this abundance mentality, then a lot of other things can be tackled, and we have a lot of opportunity from that. So
absolutely.
Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Chuck Collins, Hawaii Hydrogen Alliance, and aloha everybody. All right, cool. Cheers, bro.
Thanks, man.
There you go. Try to keep it tight.
Awesome, you did
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
that's fun.